Hi, I'm Megan V. Walker, and I am excited because I have a guest today.
Oh, hello there.
Who are you?
Who am I? Oh, I don't know. So my name is Amey Holden. I do some stuff with marketing actually.
Yeah.
I'm a fellow Microsoft MVP of yours. I live in Australia, and me and you seem to do some stuff with marketing. So
We
I
do,
thought we
but
could have we
we're
could
on
have a bit of
opposite
a
sides,
chat about some
aren't
stuff.
we? Yeah. We've done we did a session for Scottish Summit 2021, wasn't it? Where we basically
Hmm.
took opposite sides of Click Dimensions and Dynamics 365 marketing. Which one is the best? We are on the same team, really, anyway, but we are going to talk through the Dynamics 365 Wave 1 2022 release notes all about marketing. Because it's better to talk with friends about marketing, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise, you just end up reading it out and you go, yep, cool. We'll wait. We'll
Yeah.
see what comes. So we can just
Who?
complain about it together. Therapy.
Let's do it. So we've got the release notes open. Do you want to take the first one or should I take the first one?
I'll take the first one. Are you ready? Are you
Go.
ready? We're just going to
Yeah.
read out like the marketing spiel. Marketing,
Yes.
lol. Take the title and then we'll just go from there. Okay.
Yes.
So,
Go for it.
number one. Take action with your customers in a oh God. Take action with your customers in more ways by raising triggers from a journey to run another journey or power automate flow. Uh, Basically what this means, we can chain journeys. So you're in one journey, rather than trying to exit someone and put them in another, we can just say, go and plop them in this journey. That's cool. The
Yeah.
even cooler bit, you can trigger a power automate flow in a customer journey.
That's really cool. I hope it's going to be as cool as it sounds.
Yeah, me too.
See? There's a screenshot, and I'm a fan of screenshots because somebody's built something, right?
There's something.
There's something that might happen. So, um, yeah. So a new journey tile will raise an event trigger at any point in a customer journey. How do you think it's going to be different from? So obviously at the minute, because Amey, anything but code Holden, you were the first one. Well, no, maybe not the first one. I don't know. You were the first person that I saw in terms of the blog post where you were showing how you could create the event trigger, but then ignore the need to do anything with code, and then actually go and use Power Automate, build your flow, and use a perform an unbound action, and have that be
Yeah.
the thing that actually triggers it. How do you think it's going to be different from that? Do you think it's going to be like I could have any flow that I could trigger, and you've actually picked the flow?
Yeah. So I think like currently the flow only runs for to start the journey, whereas
Yeah,
now we'll be able to do it during. So I'm hoping it's a bit like it goes off and runs it, and you can either just fire it off and forget about it, or you do the fire it off and wait for a response. You know, like when you do that respond in Power Apps thing. That's my
yeah.
dream, is that it goes away, does some snazzy stuff in flow, then comes back and says, I'm finished, and here's
And
some stuff
here's
that you
all
might need.
here's all the variables from that trigger. That would be good. Okay, well let's keep our
Because
fingers
then
crossed for
I
that.
do a lot. Yeah, sorry, I'm going to talk about it too much. But it'll mean a lot of journeys can stay together. Whereas currently I have to like end one journey, start another, because I need to get that trigger in again. So hopefully
Yeah,
all things in one place.
I hope so. Do you think then that means in terms of like stuff like having a journey where I'm sending out a survey and I'm asking for feedback, and then having something that then can go off easily and go and get those responses from that survey? Yeah.
Yes, that's the dream.
Let's hope so. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm excited about that one. I think it's good. So this next one as well, trigger journeys based on data changes in any Dynamics 365 app to engage customers at the right time without writing code. They're such waffle, aren't they? So this one, I think, and I'm sure you're the same because I know that you have customers and you're implementing and working with customers that have Dynamics 365 marketing as well. And this is one of those things in terms of right now, it's us that would be going off and actually building that trigger and then
Yeah.
going into Power Automate and creating the flow. So if this is what I hope it is in terms of having some kind of panel or screen to where I build the event trigger, but then I'm able to actually say, oh, okay, well, it's when this field on this record changes, that is my trigger, rather than having to be secretive and go off behind the scenes into Power Automate.
Yeah.
Is that what you think?
Yeah. So in theory, if this is good enough, it makes my blog entirely redundant.
Oh, it's rubbish. You get people commenting saying, why would I need it? Like 2 years later.
Why did you do this? Let me tell you, youngster, what happened 2 years ago.
Back in the day. So yeah, that's what I hope as well, because ultimately we shouldn't have to have a marketing app that a consultant needs to come in that has a different level of knowledge from a technical perspective.
Yeah.
Shouldn't need that for a marketing app, should we? So
no.
I agree. If my job is redundant in that area, that's fine, because it means that people are able to do more on their own. So what you got next?
I'm going to put a caveat back on this, and then I'm going to shut up about it.
Oh, okay,
I realized that the caveat was it will cover many common operations, and also the table must be directly related to the audience. So I think we're going to have the issue of only one hop, maybe two. Anything further away, we're going to have to move back to Power Automate. So I think it will take time to grow.
Yeah, let's hope it's more than one. But yeah, you're right. The worst would be just on the contact. So as long as it's at least one, at least that's a step in the right direction. But if it would just, so let's go with that.
I'm so greedy. Anyway, number 3. Personalize interactions using a unified view of customer activity across Dynamics 365 marketing, sales, and customer service. What does this mean, Megan V. Walker? This means we can finally see Dynamics marketing activities on the timeline.
Yes. This is cool.
Yep. I'm in.
And there's a screenshot.
Yep.
Yeah?
I'm in. Sold.
Yeah. I do like that it says preview your email content within the timeline view as well, rather than just saying somebody was sent an email, that somebody in, hopefully it's not going to do something different, but hopefully anyone that's using the Sales Hub app or Customer Service Hub or anything else where there's a timeline, they will be able to preview what the email was that was sent out.
Yeah.
So it says preview your email content. I'm hoping that means anyone, regardless of if you have access to marketing, and it's not just like a pretty thing in the timeline and then I'm like, you don't have access.
Yeah, that would be good. It's something. It's a start. I want to see this. I want to get my hands on this. Like, this is, if I had to choose my first one I go for, this is it. It's a quick, easy win that a lot of customers have asked me for a million times. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, me too. I think this is a good one. And hopefully, it's probably not simple in the background at all, but it's a simple thing in terms of, from a user's perspective. It's just, they're there on the timeline, but I think it's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Any other caveats about that one?
I'm just going to stay really positive because I really want it. Thanks.
Me too. Okay, me too. I'll be positive too. Okay, so this next one. We have a fellow friend who obviously loves all things teams and he's very excited about this one. Collaborate across your organization to create the best marketing campaigns possible using the built-in Microsoft Teams chat. I can see from a enterprise level perspective where you have marketing teams that are huge or that have very clear defined roles, and one person does email templates and one person does marketing forms and one person comes up with the imagery, all of that sort of stuff. I would imagine you're probably similar to me in terms of the level of the client that you have, that you're lucky that if they have 2 marketing people, usually it's like one person. Yeah. And even if you have a team, they all pitch in and all do everything. But this is basically having chat capabilities that will sit sort of within, if you think about the marketing app, when you've got your email in the middle and then you've got the side bit where you're, working with your tokens, or you are dragging over elements like for, a text box or whatever. There's going to be another panel from what it looks like on the screenshot where that will be Teams. So you could initiate a conversation, and then you can also show recent chats. So if you've had chats about the same thing, you can go back and look at it, historically, and review it and stuff. I find it hard to get excited. I don't know, just knowing the fact that it's usually somebody on their own, or somebody is, going off and doesn't need to collaborate with anyone, but I can see the benefit for a larger team.
In theory, yeah, I have a lot of questions, which no one can answer, around like what's the experience like? Like, do I have to be in Dynamics to see the chat? Or what happens when I look in Teams? Do I see like a chat for each record that we were talking about, or is it all smushed together? I hate notifications, so it's going to freak me out if I had to use it. Yeah, if I could trade this for something else, I'd swap it for a similar flavor. I'd want an approvals process built in. I see that's kind of maybe where it's going, but I think something like an approvals would be far more useful than chatting in line. And also my screen's not freaking big enough. Like, you've already got your email and the panel to add stuff in the email. To then put another panel on, if you're on a laptop, you're like,
Well, that panel, I guess, is like where you've got, it looks like that's the recent chat. So it seems that Teams would still be popping up sort of somewhere in the middle. But yeah, and then also I wonder what happens if you've got guests in Teams. If somebody doesn't have a Teams license, is that tied into it? So, for example,
don't say that word.
What? License?
The L word.
Oh. This is my caveat. Okay, so let's take the example where I am given a user to log into somebody's environment that I'm working with. Excuse me. They don't give me access to Teams in their with that same email address, but they make me a guest with my hello@meganvwalker.com email address. So the only reason I have their domain email is to log into Dynamics. What then happens is if I don't have a Teams license on the same user. Anyway, that's it. That's, I don't know. It'd be interesting to know how that works.
And what's that word, superplexing? I feel like there's a potential fun game of superplexing to have there.
Multiplex.
Multiplexing, there we go. Super multiplexing.
All right, do we want to move on to data and AI section?
Yes, let's. I love AI. Megan, do you love AI?
Let's talk about it. Go with the first one and let's see.
Number 1, delight your customers with hyper-personalized next best content selection and boost your marketing ROI by optimizing with AI. Basically, this is saying that AI is going to do marketing for us. Seems quite like a bit like they're kind of finally pulling more of customer insights and marketing together, which sounds good. But I don't think a robot can do a marketer's job, or there wouldn't be marketers in the world. Cool idea.
Does it leave you feel? It just makes me feel a little uneasy anytime. It's like the what do they call them? Is it ideas they called it? Like where it's suggesting imagery or suggesting things or suggesting whatever. I'm the same as you. I just feel that when it comes to marketing, you need to get your message right, and you really often only have one time to actually do that. You've got one opportunity to get the message right, and it just feels that if you're relying on some kind of AI, it's going to get it. I'm sorry, but some of the AI stuff that I've seen, it gets it wrong. It gets it wrong for a long time until enough customers give enough feedback to where they know where they need to improve. I don't want to be the guinea pig for that. My customers wouldn't want to be the guinea pig for that. So yeah I'm not. Sorry.
Shmeh. Thanks, but no thanks. Next.
Yeah, it's okay. Sorry, Microsoft. Connect Dynamics 365 customer insights with customer journey orchestration when using your own data lake. So, so we're swimming through data.
Just swimming in my data.
I understand this is basically you can use Azure Data Lake storage and the data that you've got in marketing and data you've got in customer insights, you can kind of combine data. Although it says you can use data stored in Azure Data Lake to build segments. So I guess that's also saying I'm pulling things into one place So you might have some kind of field that you're capturing and you're using customer insights, and you want to actually use that from your data. So it's not necessarily data that's in dynamics marketing.
Yeah.
It could be coming from another source, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I guess if you're combining your data, maybe you can then do more stuff with Power BI. I'm not sure. So for me, that's a bit hard for me to conceptualize just by the words that are on the page.
Yeah. It sounds sexy if it works. I like it. It's got potential.
Do you? Okay. All right. I don't know if that's like, for me, I can't. I think probably because I don't do anything with customer insights as well. I don't look at it and think, ooh, that's cool. I just think, I don't really know enough about it, I think.
I think it's potentially one of the missing pieces of real-time marketing, because I think currently we can't get to access to any of those insights. They're in like a different world. And I think it's going to pull that final piece together to bring stuff together from that point of view.
Okay, all right. I'll go with that, Amy. Thank you. I feel a little bit more hopeful that it'll be good.
Yeah.
All right. What's next in AI, Will?
Oh, another one. Increase engagement using AI-powered optimization to reach each customer on the best channel based on their customer attributes. Yeah. How do you define engagement? I don't know. Nice theory. Love to see how it works. Sounds fun, but meh.
What do you think about the first sentence in the feature details section?
Just gonna go
Channel
find the feature
optimization
details.
selects the right channel for each customer using deep customer knowledge, not just how customers use channels. So in other words, if I always open my emails, but I don't really open up text messages, or maybe I don't get text messages, that's basically saying, okay, well, maybe you're usually opening up emails, but I think it says the example, if a customer's recently made a purchase, they may be more likely to engage using SMS, even if they otherwise prefer email. That's going to irritate me. This is the area of marketing that I can't stand, is being bombarded with texts or things. Like, if you have, and I get it, I understand it, it probably works for some, but when I get the messages that say, you've left something in your cart, the only reason I do that is because I'm hoping you'll send me a discount code. So just send me the discount code and then I'll move on and I'll buy. But if you're just telling me I've left something in my cart and there's no reward, then I'm not interested. But I don't like that. I don't like the sneakiness of like, I don't care what you usually do, I'm going to just send you something in a different channel.
Yeah, I think if I'm thinking about an enterprise level customer, the juice is worth the squeeze. But if I'm a smaller customer, I'm gonna have to set up an email and an SMS for everything I want to do to give it the option, to give the choice. So you've got to get to a certain level of scale before that becomes worth the squeeze.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I would imagine it's probably B2C rather than B2B more than anything, which I would say probably all of my customers are B2B. So their level of emails that they're sending out are not enough to actually have garnered any real insights as to what do I usually do, because you're sending me an email maybe every couple of months, if that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a good point, though. Definitely more like this kind of stuff feels like they're pushing more towards the B2C market. Now you said it. A lot of this feels more B2C.
Yeah, it does. It does. I'm making a purchase. I'm buying something, a shirt or a whatever. All right. So quickly personalize emails using predefined dynamic text without the need to know the underlying data structure. I am super duper excited about this one. I think that this one, I think that this one is fantastic because the number of times I've seen a user struggle to know, okay, well, I know that I want the account name, but which relationship do I pick? Is it contact to company name account, contact to company name contact to contact company name, and all the different relationships that may have been created from a contact to an account. So this can either be someone like you or I when we're initially setting things up and say, okay,
Yeah.
I've made a list of your predefined, they're calling them tokens, but that's basically anytime you create a personalization, that creates a token in the background. But to create a predefined list of things, you pick this one for first name, you pick this one for their company name, you pick this one for blah, blah, blah.
Okay, that's nice. So you can customize your predefined set.
Exactly.
That I
So,
like. I'm sold.
yeah, exactly. So it's either us as the consultant or it's somebody that is a little bit more knowledgeable about the database. Because I don't know about what your experience has been, but for me, I've had quite a few implementations where the marketing people don't actually know dynamics at all, so they don't know what the fields are.
It's not their problem. They don't need to know the database. They shouldn't have to. So that's really nice, the fact that I can set up those tokens and they're just there to pick and choose like a little shopping cart. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sold.
Yeah, good. Okay, I'm glad we get you on board.
Okay.
What's next?
Oh, wait. I just reread the same one. Okay. Quickly create emails with enhanced reusable content. Fragments. Tell me, Megan, what is a fragment?
Not a good choice of words, is it? A content block or, yeah.
It's a content block. Yeah. It's basically, they finally just leveled up content blocks. You can have layouts and snazzy stuff, and it's a content block. It's nothing else. I don't like its name. I like it. Done.
Yeah. It's as I think it's as exciting as the last one. I think definitely the fact that in the details it says create content blocks that include layout, text, buttons, I think is massive, because the number of times where the frustration of the user has been, I can't get the button to look the way I want it to.
Yeah.
No more messing with buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
It's good. It's good.
Beautiful.
But
and who knew? I was going to say, who knew we would look stuff in AI?
I know. Oh, yeah, there's one thing. Like, do you really think that belongs in AI, though? Because I was like, am I still in the same section? This has nothing to do with AI.
Agreed. I guess it's data.
Use AI, I'm renaming it.
Win customer attention by creating conditional dynamic content with easy-to-use, no-code experiences. I think this is, I don't know how many times you've had to do this, but I think this is where previously we would had to drag the code block over, put your if-then statement, blah, 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 then pull an image, then put a else-if statement, then put another image, then put an else, and then put the last image, and then put the final block of code. Yeah. This is basically, hopefully, where you have, it looks like on the screenshot, I can put one image, or I can put one image block in, and then I have a panel down the side that says, okay, so I'm just trying to see what it says, default, and then based on a field, if the field is this, then this image, otherwise this, and so on. It just looks a lot nicer, doesn't it?
I really like this. I've had cases where I've had to write the lumps of code. It's horrible code to write. There's hardly any documentation about it. It's really hard. And I don't like writing code. But also, like, I think of perfect use cases for this, like so many, because theirs is like kind of like, oh, if they're a VIP customer, you give them this image. But I have a genuine use case where my customer runs in 3 different countries. And in each country, we want to give them a different contact phone number and different login, different email websites to go to. And I've had to do 3 separate emails, then do conditions in the journey to separate it all out. Whereas now they can all go in one. We look at the customer profile, go, yep, they're from UK, send them this email. And it's one email, and it just sends them the right content. So this is, and I like the screenshot's exciting. The screenshot is exciting. Yeah. Like the way you look at it and the way you build it, nice.
Agreed. Because even if you did it before, which I've done it for, blocking things out, but then your email just grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And when anyone looks at it, it's so hard to know, okay, what's the contact actually going to receive in the end, isn't it? It's hard.
Yeah.
So, agreed. All right. So we're moving on to moments-based. What's up next, James?
Okay. Oh, I got excited. My summary of this one is yes, yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Create individualized journeys by adding conditions based on attributes captured as part of the event trigger. This is really nice. So at the minute, like what I'm doing is I'm building these triggers and they're very niche. So I've got, for example, a customer who sells licenses, and we have someone's purchased a license of type X, someone's purchased a license of type Y, and each one has to be its own trigger because you can't filter after that. Or you can, but it gets really messy. Whereas now you can have a generic filter of someone purchased a license. And then the user, when they build the trigger, can then add the filters in themselves to say, this journey is only for people who've purchased license Y. Off we go. So it means less noise, less trigger library full of stuff that you don't know what it's doing. Beautiful. I'm in.
Yeah, me too. That's really cool, isn't it? That is really cool. I like that a lot.
And also, power to the marketer.
That to me is the overwhelming thing, or the biggest takeaway is that this is all about empowering the marketer, which is always what a marketing system should be about. It should be about someone being able to take control and do stuff on their own. So yeah, agreed. So this next one, I have not had a client that uses text messages, but I can absolutely see the value. So continue the conversation with your customers by taking action on their SMS replies. So this one looks really cool. So at the minute, if somebody replied to a text message, okay, well, so it's not doing anything. Someone somewhere might have a phone that is tied to that number, but it's not likely because you'd be using something like Twilio where you're assigned a number. So it would be challenging. I don't know if you can see it in Twilio, but it's got no relationship to Dynamics marketing at all. Yeah. But this is where you can basically have keywords. So if you get a text message, it might say text stop to end the service, or text join to sign up, or whatever. So you can basically send out a text message with a keyword, and then you can define in the journey and look for the keyword. So if somebody's actually responded with a specific keyword, then you can carry on and do stuff within that journey. But here's my caveat for this one. Is it going to do it with all services, or is it only going to do it with the built-in, what is it? The
Azure Communications, so ACS?
Yeah. Is it only going to work with that one, or is it going to work with all of them? Because surely that's a massive undertaking. If it's Twilio and Telesign as well, then there's got to be something within those two integrations that allow that to be read.
I'm glad you explained that to me though, because I was like, what, so you want me to like text back like, hey babe, how you doing? Can I find out about your chess set? And it was going to pick up a keyword and respond to me. But when you explained, it's like, choose the word cheese if you want to hear about our new cheese slicer. Okay, got it. Like now it makes more sense. But then,
yeah. So
I don't
it's not necessarily marketing, but that sort of approach. I used to work for a recruitment software company, and that would be the text would go out and say, there's a job available, or there's a job that's, come up. Are you available? Text 1 for yes, 2 for whatever, or stuff like that. So if you're asking somebody a question, and based on that, it will go through. It could also be after a service or something. So someone is dealing with coming out and fitting carpets or fixing a boiler or whatever, and then that follow-up response, are you happy, yes or no? And then that could then decide what happens after that. So
it's got some good potential, especially more from a customer service, moving away from just marketing and more about that end-to-end customer service journey and experience. Pretty cool. I'm more sold on it now than I was before, but it also, I saw the first screen and it just looks like a chatbot, and I hate chatbots, so I just ran away and cried. But that's
we're here to help each other out and embrace. You're welcome. All right, next.
Okay.
You're up.
Easily create journeys to send reminders, encouraging customers to respond to a call to action. I love this.
Me too. Tell us about it.
It's basically like in semi-developer talk, it's a do until loop or a do while loop within a journey, which I love because I spend my life either like building out swim lanes that act slightly differently, and then I rebuild it all so everyone goes through the similar-ish journey but not together. Whereas now it means we can hold people at a certain point in a journey going through an almost child journey, for want of a better term. And until they do the desirable action, then they carry on with whatever they were meant to be doing. This is beautiful. I don't have to predict. I'm not putting people through unnecessary pain on communication, and I'm responsive to them. I love it.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because even, and I know that you've got the ability to do a recurring journey, but it's never, that's recurring the whole journey. And you're right, there was only, like, if there's only aspects of it, or then how do I get someone out? Then I've got to put them into a suppression segment.
Yeah.
And then how do I then get them back in when they've already gone through it? They're not going to.
Yeah.
That's where you need your other swim lane. So yeah, this one's big, isn't it? Yeah.
Super excited for this one. And it's going to make, again, less noise, so cleaner. So rather than 3 journeys, I've got 1.
Yeah.
It's all on one page. My analytics then mean more because all my customers are in the same journey. Yes, yes, and yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So the last one, target the right contacts and leads using the reimagined, easy-to-use segmentation builder. So the first thing that I would like to point out is on this one is that it's not public preview even until June, and the general availability is to be announced. Now, we have had, so overall, it's basically a new look and feel segmentation build, or building a segment. Looks really cool. I think that's great. The thing that is the caveat or the sirens going off in my head is last year we were getting excited about being able to market to leads. The fact that there is no date, it sits uneasy with me. Thoughts, Holden?
I'm not going to make any decisions based on this knowledge. Let's put it that way. I'm all for simplifying things and making things easy to use, but sometimes if you simplify things too much, you either lose the power of it, or it becomes, it's like, what's the thing called that someone told me about? Leaky abstractions. Like, if you abstract something too far, it then becomes meaningless and things stop working. And I'm worried that, like, data is complicated. End of. Like, and I don't know how effective it will be. Like, I'd love to see it easier to use, but sometimes you can make things so easy to use that they then become less useful. That's my concern. Plus the lead thing. Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I have seen some prototypes of it, and it looks really good. I like it. Honestly, the only thing that just is a bit, it's the lead thing. It's the lead thing. There's obviously like way more to it as to why it's still not come out yet. But yeah, it's just the leads. It's just wow.
Yeah.
I find it interesting and obviously very telling that unless you like say, oh no, this one, but it looked like all of those were real-time marketing only things.
Definitely.
So nothing in there that's outbound marketing. So it's basically like, if you want anything, you have to start using real-time marketing, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I think now, like, there's still some gaps, don't get me wrong. Like, we know there's more stuff to come, but I think this release wave gives me hope that they are putting a lot of energy into it. And I can start to see more and more where I can move customers to it confidently. It's exciting. Agreed.
Well, thank you for chatting with me.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I think it is interesting where there were some things where you had like a take on something that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that, and vice versa, which is good to be able to talk through some of these things. And unfortunately, we have to hypothesize about some areas and say what we hope it is, and then just wait and see, right?
Yeah. We'll come back next year and be like, oh, idiots.
What did we know? All right. So let's do this again, wave 2, and see what's coming from marketing then. And how many of these have been out by wave 2?
See you in wave 2, my friend.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Megan Walker. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something from it.
If you don't want to miss out on any other content, you can go ahead and click on my face below to subscribe. And if you want to watch the next video, you can do that by clicking over here and go ahead and get started. Thanks again.